Don't expect other people to invest and support your journey, especially those closest to you. I've witnessed it firsthand how people just don't support. And to be honest, it's quite shocking, really. Because when you achieve something, like you really achieve like a life goal, a dream, you would naturally think you're like how proud you are. You know you've achieved something. You would naturally expect, especially those you know, to congratulate you, applaud, support. It's just natural. That's the least you expect. And within my life, it's just been completely ignored. And eventually, along the way, you establish boundaries. At least if you have sense, you establish boundaries. Because a lot of people, they want you to cheer them on, but they don't invest in you at all. Even beyond sort of achievements. I've recognised this with birthdays and things. There'd be people who they don't bother when it's your birthday, but they make a whole deal about their birthday, and then it's expected that you say, "Don't be petty." You keep, invest like be happy for them on their birthday. So that's not the point. People just completely miss the point. They let people walk over them, and then they expect that to invest wholly in them. It's delusional. It's absolutely mental to me. So, like I say, like within my own personal life, it's very few and far between where I've had support. So when you see what I've achieved, accomplished, it's self-made. I have been so driven on my own path. I've believed in myself, no matter what's around me, and it's been incredibly hard. It's been hard. I think it's been harder than it perhaps needed to be. I have a big family, and there's no reason people couldn't have supported all that. I never asked people or anything, so it's up to you what you do. I've done this work. You could have just bought one book and just shared it with people and some people are like they're more invested in social media than I am. I have a bigger following on TikTok. But I don't care about following and things, but that gets stagnant. I keep getting suppressed, and I often think, especially when you create something, it has more prominence to have someone from the outside talk about it rather than you. I hate self promotion. You'll see me place my books there, but I don't always talk about it. It's not something I feel comfortable with. I don't like it. So, like I said, it'd be nice if other people had invested. The whole point of this video really is to show people their worth, and it's about establish boundaries and don't let people take you for a ride. Because this is the thing with people. People often see situations as investments. If they don't think it'll pay off in the end for them, they're not going to invest, even if it's family. Not every family, of course, because some are supportive. But if they think for a moment, you're never really going to get your breakthrough, I'm not helping them. You won't even buy one book. You won't even buy one book. And yet, there was a period of time in my life where if I had a breakthrough in career, like a huge breakthrough and a massive windfall of money, I would have gladly helped people. I'm selfless in that way. But now I've looked at who's around me and I've not say criticized, but there is a level of that level of judgment, I guess. And I've determined who I'm going to support going forward. And it's been narrowed down quite robustly. As I said at the beginning, I've had, we use that word, past tense, had a big family. Now I don't. Because family doesn't treat people like this. So I really don't care anymore. And I've set that firm boundary of people. People know my stance on them. This is the thing with me. I'm not someone that shies away from a conversation. I'm not shy away from taking action. And it's been coming. So for the past year, I haven't spoke to most of my siblings. I haven't spoke to any of them. They've all gossiped about me. They've all tried to paint me this, paint me that. It's like, do one. I don't care. You won't see me in your life ever again. And it's not just about the support here. It's the disrespect I've had along the way. I'm not going to go deep into that here now. But yeah, people want to sort of cast a judgment. It's like, don't ever try to re-enter my life. Like I said, there was a period of time there where people could help. So like I said, people often see things as a transaction. It's a bit like if you invest in someone early on, do you believe in their character? Do you believe in who they are? Or do you wait for the odds to improve? Less risk. And then as you know a breakthrough's coming, do you then jump in and try to act supportive? Because if you look at me, and if you know me at all, you know I'm not an idiot. that would be the most stupid thing anyone could do, because I'll make them look like an absolute prat for trying. It's like, don't try me. So if I have a breakthrough in life, and I have no doubt I will in the future, maybe not even too far into the future, and people try to attach themselves to my name because they see it as an opportunity to gain, I will recognize whether I know them or not. And then I will also talk upon why they're not in my life. So if there's ever any rumors or reports that, let's say you have a breakthrough and then it comes out, they don't support those, they've got ahead of themselves. They don't support their family. As my family never supported me. Why should I? If I can overcome trauma and poverty and so many other things, then so can other people. The question is, do they believe in themselves in the way I believe in myself? Do they have the commitment to overcome their circumstance in the way I have that commitment? Like I said, I would have helped people. I would have helped those people. I've given them advice. I've helped them with words. Most of my family, in all honesty, they just make excuses. They don't take action. So you can give them advice, but it's up to them to implement it. I'm not going to do it all for them. And I watch them, and it's chaotic a lot of the time. And I'm like, you know what? I've given you more advice than I would give the average person. I've given far more of my time, and I'm not doing it anymore. So it's like, I wish you well on your journey. I've invested in you, and you barely invested in me, and I'm not doing it anymore. So there's only two people at the present moment who will have my undivided support. Absolutely. One of which I have warned, don't filter it to the others, because I don't want them to have anything, because it's not for me to do it for them. They up to them to live their own life. One is my mum, which is this reference to. She's supported me an awful lot throughout my journey. She's invested in me. She's bought every single one of my books. She's not a social media person. She's too old for that. She doesn't even understand how to use a phone and things for the most part. It's really, you have to literally help her remotely from your phone, talking to her through it. And it's an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I wouldn't expect that of her. But she has bought all my books. And when she was working, she used to work at a hospital. And she used to tell people about the books and things. So that's support. That's support. That's the only one I've had in my life that's done that. And the other person I would support, of course, is my daughter. And she's clearly too young to do all those things. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to put that pressure on her, because that's a bit too personal, especially with the books I've done. Especially the first two books about our personal trauma and the things we went through. So yeah, any wealth I gain in my lifetime will be split between my future partner and my daughter. You know, it's just, that's it. Now, does that mean I wouldn't help strangers? No, that doesn't mean anything like that at all. I don't. This is the thing with me, and I think it's really important other people heed this. It's important to be wise. It's important to learn from situations. So we're always learning and evolving. But don't ever just assume two people are alike. You can have people even from the same families who behave totally different. So if it's even people who were brought up similarly can have completely different outlooks on life, then it stands to reason, then everybody else does too. Now, the thing with me is I am spiritual. I have, my intuition is very strong. I know when something's coming. I know when I should be doing something. And I know when someone's good and I know when someone's bad. And I know when I should be doing something for someone. But I know these things. I don't need anyone to believe me, not believe me. It doesn't change my night. It doesn't make me sleep any different. So sometimes there's a blessing in people doing things for themselves. And sometimes there's a blessing to give people an opportunity to help them. So if I don't help someone directly, it would never be, well, I wouldn't say never, because like I said, with my family, I've learned my lesson. But for the most part, it wouldn't be because I don't want to help. It'd be because it's not my position to interfere at that point, because they've got their own life and journey. It's a bit like me. If someone had just done everything for me, for instance, and I hadn't done any, I hadn't pushed myself, I wouldn't know what I can accomplish. And it's like, now look at me. So there is something beauty in some hardship, and quite a lot of hardship, to be honest. You find yourself. But also, I've always known this all the way through. And as frustrated as I get, I always knew rock bottom is where you find who's there for you and who's not. Not when you're successful, although when you're about to be successful, of course, if someone gives you an opportunity that can change your life, that's beautiful. But again, that's even at rock bottom anyway, because before the breakthrough, you're still struggling. So who is there when you're at your bottom? Because that says an awful lot about them and how they view you. And so, like I say, I had other people in my family that I was prepared to still help. Like I was thinking, I'll benefit of the doubt. If I could, I would still try to encourage them. I still give them an opportunity. If a breakthrough comes and you network and you gain connections, maybe you open the door. But now I look and think everybody's just selfish. Like I'm done. It's just like I said, it's just my mum and my daughter now, and whoever I end up in a relationship with. That's my key core group, and I'm fine with that. If anything, I'm glad I found that out before a breakthrough was to come. And there's no point. Again, I'm not an idiot. It's not no point. And there's no point people investing in me after. Like I wouldn't see it. Oh, all of a sudden you just bought a book and it's maybe cost you £12 and they expected me to help change your life when mine changes. Oh yeah, because that's fair. If you did it at the beginning, if you did it when I need it really, but like I really could have done with that support, then yeah, because you've helped me at my lowest moment. Do it when you feel there's going to be something big on the way. There's no point acting like you care because you never did. It's like, it doesn't matter if people act, it's people, if people can't see your worth during your lowest moments, then they don't deserve to be in your life. It's simple as that. There's no sugarcoating this. Because I see through everybody. I really do. I know all of a sudden they're going to go, that's my brother. That's my uncle. That's this. And it's like, just stay away. Like, don't try to use my name to get yourself some credibility or something. It's like, you weren't there for me. Just let it go. So, like I said, if a name is ever attached to me, or anyone tries to paint me in a negative light, don't think for a moment I'm someone that hides in the shadows. Don't think I won't talk about things. So, like I always say, that better keeping my name out of your mouth if it's not going to be a positive reaction from me, because I have no qualms in talking about things. Even if I have a breakthrough and you think, oh my, they'll never say anything because they don't want to ruin what they got. I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything. So, if someone wants to talk about me and there's relevance to it, I'll respond in kind. Because I'm not happy with people at all. It's been incredibly disrespectful. I've worked my art. People, I think this is the thing. When you talk on things, people probably don't realise how big the struggle's been. It just sounds like you're being a bit petulant, or maybe you just feel a bit self-entitled. It's nothing to do with that at all. I have sacrificed a lot to do what I do. So I have left jobs where maybe it would be perceived as reckless. And I stand by it, and I do not regret for a moment. So if anyone ever thinks, oh, I bet they regret that, I do not regret at all. Look at me. I don't regret for a moment. Look at me. I'm still standing. Or I'm sitting at the moment, but you can see what I mean. So you could think, okay, finances are tight. Okay, finances are tight. Do I look healthy enough? Do I have something to show for it? Look at what I've been doing. I've been building a legacy. What's other people been doing? Yeah, maybe you have more finances. Most of them sitting in debt anyway. So where's that gone? Now, okay, they've had opportunities. I'm not begrudging people things. But the point is, I've been struggling like crazy to do what I do. I have to go from month to month juggling bills. Now, people will see I treat myself to things, because I'll go to madness if I don't have something tangible, something nice just for me. So yeah, I treat myself. Video games for me are distraction. Sports. That's in my life. The distraction away from poverty and struggle is, for me personally, video games and sport. Sport is only on for so long. It's a good way not to think. It's something just to invest in something, and it's just enjoy it. Enjoy the competitiveness of it. I like that. I love F1. I love motor racing. I've loved F1 before everybody started on a bandwagon, but it's good that the more popular it gets, the better for everyone, isn't it? And, I like football, soccer. I like other sports as well. Now, video games are great because video games, for the most part, a lot of them are endless. It literally is a great distraction. If you actually think about it, if you go psychologically on that, these are things where you don't necessarily have to think about reality too much. So it's a lot easier to cope. Now, it's not that I have a trouble with that. It's just, it's quite intense sometimes, We've got enough internal battle going on, wishing for the life we want. And then you get to see it on the external where everybody else gets to live the life you would love to have. It doesn't make you feel particularly good, does it? Now, I'm far more healed than I was in the past. If you go far enough back, and this is what I'm talking about, this is layers upon layers upon layers. This is people who've not been there during my lowest moments. They didn't check up on me. When I went through family court with my daughter, there was about 3 months before we had when we had no contact, no family court, there was nothing. Just isolation, loneliness, and absolute suffering. So when I say I understand when people contemplate the end of life, I get it. I absolutely understand how they feel. Now, I've never felt that way, but I've been incredibly low to the point where I understand someone who maybe doesn't have belief in themselves or a stronger outlook, how it is the end of life. Because you've built something, an entire family, and now you're alone, and it's like everybody's just been taken away. It's like, what's the point of going all again? My heart has been ripped out. But I'm always of the mindset that just one step in front of the other, and slowly we rebuild. It's not overnight, and it's not easy. Believe me, I had so many setbacks. I was a shell of who I am now. Like, you wouldn't believe how bad I was. I'm at home crying an awful lot. I've spoke about it before. I wore sunglasses outside because I was crying all the time. And I'm not even, look at me, I'm not even someone that cries all the time. I have an emotional side, of course. You see me have emotional outbursts sometimes. So I have an emotional capacity, of course. I'm not a robot. But I'm not someone that would naturally just cry out en masse. And I was. And on top of that, the misery is compounded by debt, poverty. So it's struggle. So not only are you lonely, isolated, struggling to feed yourself, you're also struggling to keep a roof over your head and pay your bills. That's a lot of pressure all at once. Then you're having to clear your name, false allegations. That's a lot to recover from, you know. I did it. Look at me. If you can come across most of that, you can contest against most of things in life, which is why I just don't care about anything. You see me talk about absolutely anything because I got nothing to be embarrassed about. I've come from the pits of despair. I have no problems talking about where I come from, the things I went through, how I overcome it, because I hope it becomes an example for others. Don't give up when you're at your lowest, because that's when you're going to transform. Think of it like you become a chrysalis, and then you're going to bloom into a butterfly. Anybody who disregarded you didn't deserve your time. So when people leave you, it's like, in the end, don't feel it's like it's hard to process at first, but it's not necessarily a reflection of you, but them. Not always the case. There's some things we need to heal. So I admit that I was hot tempered. I was not physically, but I was hot tempered. I was quick to get stressed. I was very reactive. So I was fiery, and I have that potential still. Like, I have potentials of those things, but I'm far more emotionally balanced. I see things far clearer. I have a firmer outlook on life. But yeah, that was a version of myself. But I've transcended from that to become far more masterful of my own dominion. I've also overcome the challenges that were there at the beginning. But my point there, within all of that, who was there for me? And it's not about who wasn't. It's like who, that defines itself, doesn't it? We don't even have to specify who wasn't. It's like who was with me, and it's everybody else wasn't. Doesn't have to be defined by a name. They know who they are. My mum was the ever present in my life. So she was the one I'd pick the phone up and talk to every day. And she's been there the whole way through my crisis, my journey. She's seen my growth. You know, me struggling financially, I know it bothers her. I know sometimes I make decisions that she doesn't quite understand. And I think she would love for me to have stability. I know she'd love to see me happy. But that's someone that's cheering you on, you know. But not once does she tell me to do anything that I'm not doing. You know, she might think, you know, you need more stability. You should go and try to at least go and do, you know, traditional jobs and things. I've already spoke about the back problems and things like that, and the fact that it's so frustrating at times, you know. The jobs are so beneath me now. Like, I feel trapped. It's not a laziness. You can see from the work I've done here. Now, I've been in and out of situations like that, but they're not my long term. So it's like I don't have a long term view of them. It's only ever short term for just to get by, and it's just a transition phase. But like I'm saying there, even in a crisis, she never burdens me or pressures me to do it. First of all, she knows my personality. I'm quite combative. But it's not just that, is it? It's like she has enough respect for me to understand that I've got it. It's like, don't worry about me. I can handle a crisis. I can handle a challenge. Which that means she also knows that when a breakthrough comes, I've deserved it. She's seen the whole way through this. She's seen me suffering like crazy, like really suffering. Like my head's going to explode. I have days when, like, not so much now. I still have those days, but it was far more in the past. My head would feel like there's a vice and it's just crushing me. And I'll just feel like I'm, it just feels suffering. And it would feel really unfair. Like you see other people have their life together to a degree, or at least they perceive to have. So then maybe they have family around them. They've got loved ones. They've got money to do things. They've got money to buy things. They've got multiple holidays a year. And I'm going through periods where I can't even have holidays for extended periods, like a decade. You know, there's that whole money's always been a crisis like that. And then, like I said, you've just lost everyone you love, or at least your immediate with your relationship. So, look, it's hard to paint the whole picture of how much of a crisis it is. And it's not just for one day and it's not just for 1 year, it's a whole duration of period. My relationship ended 2017. I've been on this isolated journey for 8 years. And who's really genuinely checked on me? Of course, I've had conversations with family members along the way, but when when you're reflecting upon deep enough, I've noticed that it's only when they're bored. It's not genuine checking in, you know, it's not genuine investment. And then the slight remarks have come to the surface and you go, oh, that's what you really thought. That's what you really thought of me. That's beautiful. That's nice. My sister, for instance, I'll talk about it. I don't care less. I could care less how people react to me. One of my sisters has been on benefits their whole life. They've got more of a health condition now, but they didn't have it in the past and they still got everything. So they see that as them earning their money. They see that as their income. They're entitled to that. I've always found that fascinating. Like when I'm receiving benefits, I recognize it's temporary. It's not my goal. That's not my prolonged, that's not what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm not expecting it. It's just to help me for a period. You know, I'm not above myself that I won't accept support. But you know, they see that as their income. So back in 2024, I think it's 2024. It's only last year. Last year, went on Crete holiday. I'd been there a year before. And I'd left my job back in September 2023 because of persistent back problems. It was a really well-paying job. The holiday was booked a year in advance. I'd already made over half of the payments for this holiday. So I'd made quite a lot. It wasn't an expensive holiday in the first place. It wasn't a lot of money. So, yeah, my mum helped me with a few final payments towards this holiday, which, you know, I'm always appreciative of that. Like, thank you. I don't need it rubbed in my face that she helped me. And plus, when I'm doing well, I've always said that to her. People take people for granted, like my mum, for instance. Some people take her for granted. I don't. People are going to see firsthand. When I have my breakthrough, and I've said it so many times, I've even said it to her. When I have my breakthrough, you're never going to worry about anything ever again. I'm going to give you a lump sum of money. I'm going to take you on holiday somewhere. And, you know, you'll be free to come with me wherever I go. I won't ever leave my mum behind. So if anyone questions my loyalty, they'll see firsthand through her that I actually really deeply appreciate those who have been on my journey. And she's been on my life journey since the beginning of life. I've wrote a whole chapter dedicated to her in one of my books. She is my wings when I need to fly. I don't want anyone to ever doubt that. So I achieve an awful lot myself. But I've always had my mum there to confide in. And she's always believed in me. And it's something I've had. It's been very rare in my life. I've been very grateful. I'm very, very grateful for that. And people see that firsthand when I have my breakthrough. And I've got no doubt. If you actually hear me talk, I don't stutter. I don't actually doubt my breakthrough. I try to stem it a little bit because I know people might think it's delusional. But if you actually ask me straight up, do you think how far I think I can achieve anything in this lifetime? I think I could. I could do an awful lot. I don't care how delusional it sounds. I'm capable of anything, you know, and it's like, who's there, who's not there. I've got slightly off track there because I'm so praising my mum. It's thrown me off. Because I know it's about the struggle, and then when people have got things, yeah. So I mean, I've probably got a little bit off track there, but oh no, but yeah, okay. The holiday, that was really important because, like I said, I'd already paid half the holiday, and where I said I'm going to repay my mum more than I've told her, do not, when I give you money one day, do not give it to any of the others, because if I wanted them to have it, I'd give it to them. I said, it'd be really disrespectful if you do that, because I'm not giving it to them, I'm giving it to you. And she said she doesn't even need anything. I said, no, you're having. You're having. So let's say, when I'm in a financially better position, I'm going to be repaying her for anything she's helped me with. And so, for instance, the holiday, I had an issue with my sister, and as we argued about something, because she's very selfish, bear in mind, everything's paid for her. When did she work to earn what she's got? But she's got this holiday paid for her by the public through tax. Let's be honest, that's what that's paid for. But of course, they earned that. Kudos to you. We're living a great life. You should be proud. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? So they made it, as we had an argument, they made a comment, and this is why there's certain things she said to me that I will never forget. And the thing with people is they forget, or they don't think much of it after. I am a memory box. You can't put anything past me. You can't trick me. You cannot deceive me. There's nothing you can do to change my outlook and how I know. So she made a comment that we all know Mum paid for your holiday, like she always does. And that straight away logged into my memory bank. It's not just about that holiday then, is it? That's what you think of me in general. They think I just take off my mum all the time and I don't do anything with my life. So what about the job I'd been working for a year and a half that paid, like, from my point of view, paid an awful lot of money? I had so much expenditure, like, I wouldn't say so much, but I had plenty of expendable money. I'd pay all my bills, my rent. I'd pay all my bills, and I was even upgrading my computer. I was buying myself all sorts of things. And like I say, then we booked the holiday, and I was making all the payments. It was only when I left the job, and then finances got tight. Before that, I was thriving on my own. I didn't have benefits. I didn't have a partner to support me. I was self-sufficient in every way. And yet, that comment showed me that they didn't even respect that I'm doing everything myself and I'm actually thriving, which also tells me that had I gone, either way, when I go on holiday, they would have naturally just assumed my mum paid for it. Why would my mum pay for it when I'm working? But that's their opinion of me. And it's like, if you think that low of me, and now I get to see what you truly think of me, and I doubt you're the only one that thinks this, why are we even talking to each other? Why would I want to be around someone who thinks so low of me? And no matter what I do, it's never good enough. Or at least in their eyes. It's never, it's never deserved. Which also tells me that if I get my breakthrough at some point, they might smile to my face and they might like to gain what they can take because they would actually feel they deserve it somehow. How delusional is that? Oh, no, I'm going to show them firsthand. You don't deserve shit. You're going to get nothing. And you can sit on your high horse and feel like you deserve it somehow. But I'm going to show you you're getting nothing. And see how it feels. Because you've given me absolutely nothing my whole life apart from criticism and unfair comments. They also made a comment later on, which was the nail in the coffin for me. They'd been really selfish on holiday. So they'd come back and then they sent me a message because I said, I can't remember. I think I did a video online. They didn't like it. But some people are fake. I'm not fake. I'm honest. So some people would be nice to your face, but talk behind your back. I'm more like, I'll say it to your face, so we don't have to talk behind your back. That's what you get with me. That's why some people think, oh, no, there's something off, or I don't believe them. It's because you don't believe yourself. And that's how you behave. I don't see the point. If you see much of my content and you hear my journey, you'll realize I don't waste time with shit. I've got no time for it. Either way we're going to end up at this destination, let's just get there today. Let's stop pissing about and just get to it, because there's no point. I don't like mind games. I don't play this shit. I'll just say it directly and be done with it. Whether you get pissed off or not, I couldn't care less. So she made a comment because I had to go through family court. Now, I've already explained. I was on my knees. I'm struggling to pay for my food. I'm struggling for the rent. I was left with an awful lot of debt. and an absolute crisis. And meanwhile, my mental health is all over the place because it's like I'm at the lowest I could possibly be. You'd think family would actually come together and support you in that crisis, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you? Like, if a family member of mine, one of my family members had done that, especially if they were living alone, I would want to check up on them, even financially. Like, do you need anything? Like, is there anything I can help you with? Even if it's something like just buy some, like, even like £20 worth of food, just get me some bread and get me some bread, some milk, it's the basics so I can like get through a little bit without worrying so much. Because I didn't even feel like shopping and things, you know? These things would have been really nice. That'd been show you care. But instead, later on, now, recently, like a year ago, made a comment about my mum helping pay through family court for me pursuing my daughter. And again, she's trying to make it sound like I'm leeching. And yet, my stepdad, who had cancer at the time, it was his decision to sell his car and help fund this. And he said to my mum, because my brother-in-law apparently heard this and some of the other family members, I didn't hear all this, you know, but they were there, so they know. It wasn't about me. It was what they wanted. My daughter is their granddaughter. So an attack on them is like an attack on all of us, you know, and they would have done the same for any of us. But my sister is that spiteful. And all she cares about is money. I'm trying to keep reserved here what my opinion of him is. Could be much lower, let's be honest. Especially when it comes to my daughter. That was like the nail in the coffin, believe me. Plus the other shit, go and do one. So don't want that, you know, they never get an audience with me ever again. So yeah, they made it sound like this and that, and it wasn't my decision at all. That was them supporting me, which is exactly what I would do for my daughter by mind. If my daughter ever went through a crisis like that, you bet your ass I'm going to step up for her as best I can, even if I have to sell everything. But that's what some of us do, you know? Some parts of life are just bigger than our circumstance, and some things can be replaced. So what we're seeing here is people not only don't invest in support, they literally go out of their way to try to bring you down and destroy you. Because that's literally what they were doing. They were being spiteful. My ex-partner made now I'm going to show my spiritual journey. I get a lot of signs that my ex-partner regrets what she's done, and she knows she hasn't got a chance of coming back, but she wants to find an angle to try to talk to me, and she's blocked. And it's like, you've got no chance in hell. Let's just be clear. I'm a different person completely from then. You haven't evolved. You're not a very nice person. Why would I be interested? It's not going to happen. One thing, out of everything she's done, and believe me, she's put me through a world of shit. Like, she's put me through a lot, especially family court and everything happened after. She's been so spiteful and vindictive. Some people just think that it was just a moment. It's like, no. That was a defining period of my life. You don't get do-overs. Many people don't get second chances with me, and someone like that, definitely, you don't get come near me. But but apart from all that, she made a comment as our relationship was ending, and I've always remembered it. And I'm a memory box. You can't put something over me. You can't say it and then take it back. It's like, I heard it. She said, it's nice when you're not home. It's always better when you're not here. Oh, that hurt. That actually hurt me because he was in a relationship with that person, you know. Oh, that's what you really think of me too. Okay. You don't get an audience with me in the future. You know, and it's just the way it is though. If you're going to disrespect me, then I'll take note. Every disrespect in my life, it logs in like a memory bank. Even if I were to forget the actual things that were said, which I don't, but if I did, and I had a feeling there's a reason that I don't want them in my life, I would trust that reasoning. And that's what I want people to realize within themselves. You don't owe anyone anything. It's often said, families thicker than all this shit, you know, and it's like, it's not. Sometimes, the way I see it is sometimes we're born into situations that help us see our value in the end. It might take time, but you can outgrow any circumstance, any environment. And I have completely outgrown the environment that I came from. And that's just a reality. So I don't feel any loyalty to anyone in that sense. I don't feel any obligation to them. So, for instance, it's not about money. It's the principle. It's the principle. If anybody had just helped me when I needed it, like when I truly needed it, I would have remembered that and logged that in a memory bank. and I would have supported them when I'm doing well. Money doesn't mean much to me, but the more I see how people react to it, it's making me recognize that anything I earn, because the thing with me, I'm an open book, and I would have always helped people. You know, it wouldn't bother me because you can always make more money later. Like, that's how I think. Now I'm of the mindset that everything I earn going forward is for me, my daughter, my partner, and if my mum needs any help. That's it. And it's like, why? And then after that, it's thinking, why should I look beyond that anyway? Nobody else looks beyond that. Nobody else looks to help you. But there is an exception to the rule. I'm not here to be greedy. I will help people where I can if I feel a calling to help. And I've said that at the very beginning. I said that. So if I feel someone is in needs, it's not even if they're in crisis, you know, because I think sometimes that's not fair. Like you could argue, obviously, the people with the poorest, they deserve the most help. But there might even be someone who's a really kind-hearted person. They're going through something. Maybe on the outside, it looks like they've got everything together. They've got more than the average person. But they're really kind. And when they have things, they help. And they just need some help for that period just to transition through life for a moment. If I feel a calling to help, whatever it is, whether it's guidance, whether it's networking, or whether it's financially, whatever I feel within myself compelled to help that person, I will help them. So it's not about whether you're wealthy or whether you're poor. It's a calling. If I feel a calling to intervene, I will help people, you know? So at its core, I want a happy life. I want to be happy. I deserve to be happy. I've had misery my whole life. I'm 42. It's getting demoralizing as shit. When I'm in a relationship, I want my partner to be really happy. I want them to have a nice life. My daughter's had so much struggle already at such a young age. She's now 15. I want her to have a beautiful future. So what I do, and any benefit I get from it, will certainly go towards her. And I'm not going to forego her pursuing any dreams she may have. But like I said, I also want to contribute positively to the world. And I think personally, a kind stranger is of more value to me than a selfish family member. So what I'm saying there is some people feel attached to you and they feel deserving just through a connection. No. And it's not me being spiteful. It's just me being pure and honest. It's saying, you didn't help me at my lowest. I know. And it's not even about you didn't help me, although to a degree it is, but it's more the fact that I've seen your character. I don't want to help you. I don't care if this person is part of my family or not. If I think someone is kind, then I'm going to help. Especially like if spirit, like I said at the beginning, I'm not here to, you can't possibly help each individual on a one-by-one basis. It's impossible. So we have to be realistic. And of course, we have our own healing journey. But yeah, like I say, I just think all everybody had to do, I've got a big family, all they had to do is each buy a book, whatever book you want, take a photo of it, just talk about it a little bit, share it on social media, just say, my uncle, my brother has just done something, you know, he's worked really hard at this, it's, you know, he's been through so much, and he deserves to have something like more, but much better than he's ever had. You know, if anybody could just find it in their heart, just to buy one copy of a book, it will help change his life. I mean, that's just a nice thing to do for someone. I've never asked someone to do that, and I've always said that. I don't even ask people to do reviews. You know, I think I did start doing it at the back of the books, just to say, like, if you was interested, however you felt about this book, if you would be interested in just providing feedback, whether good or bad, appreciate it. I'd never tell someone to give me a positive review, but in general in life, I don't ask people to do anything. It's just at the back of the book there as a little call to action, really. That's the only time. But it'd be nice if people actually went out of their way to be kind in the first place, wouldn't it? Rather than feel they're doing it to gain, because that's what it is. And so I think the hard reality there is that most people are not actually there when you are trying to be successful. But realistically, there's so many nuances to it, of course. It ruins like the image they've cast on you. So like where my obviously family think so little of me, it smashes down that illusion that I am who they want me to be, really, to facilitate whatever it is they want for their life at my expense, of course. It shines a light on their inadequacies. there's so many variances to it. For whatever reason, they decide not to invest. Because it's a calculated decision. It's not hard just to buy a book. You know, any of them could say, "Oh, I haven't got the money at the minute." I get that. We go through periods. 8 years later, though, I think it's a bit of a joke. Every single one, from my nephews to my nieces to my sisters to my brothers, they're a joke. Could have bought one book by now. Could have invested. I would have invested in them. I've helped people where I can, you know, and now it's been limited to just a select few people. But those that select few, you best believe, those are the ones I hold incredibly high regard because they deserve it. I didn't want this to be a ranty thing. I just wanted to make it clear, really. I just wanted to show. I don't even think I show the hardship enough at all. I think people probably find out more about my hardships deeper through the books, but probably through other. Again, I know people don't like to speak in spirituality if they're not into it, but I can guarantee you in future there'll be tarot readers, there'll be psychics, there'll be mediums who will be able to, I think, explain the struggles I had and the things I've overcome and the legacy I'm going to leave behind, because that's the abilities that they have. You know, I could do a tarot spread for myself now, and I could ask what spirit thinks of me, and I could say, what have I been through? But it always comes. I've done the videos. You can just see from my other content in the past, like not even the recent past. At the moment, I always get I'm the Empress and the High Priestess, which is incredibly beautiful. That's incredibly empowering. I am one with myself, and I'm birthing something beautiful to the world. And that's not me just saying that. That's what Spirit's saying. And again, people don't like that. First of all, they don't like your confidence. I always say that gets perceived as arrogance, is what it is. And also, people don't like to think that someone could be that pure, that honest, sincere, and actually have integrity, because we live in a very superficial world. I always say that. I don't want to be a part of that. So I'll do things my way. Of course, you're going to get some fake readers as well. I'll probably just try and paint a wrong image, but whatever. Yeah. But yeah, no doubt that everything I've achieved, I've done for me. I've done myself. It's self-made. I've literally got a 7th book in development that will come out when I can actually commit to editing it. That's all it needs. And I've just recently changed the image there because I was promoting all 4 books and I kept leaving my first 2 books out. And I always felt it's always nagged at me. I always thought I can't fit that many in an image, but I thought, you know what, you're just going to have to do it because it's ridiculous. You can't just keep pointing out 4 books when you've got 6 at this point. All of them done during a crisis, during hardship, turmoil. And if anything, I just want to show people you can do anything. You know, life is heavy, and yeah, of course. And sometimes it can seem really, really cruel. And obviously it's unfair. What makes it harder is when you spend your life comparing to others. That's when it gets harder. So if you always look at what someone else has got at a given moment, you're always going to have this feeling of inadequacy because there's always going to be someone who has more than you, whether it's love, relationships, whether it's career, whether it's money, whether it's travel, whether it's where they live, everything and anything. But what you don't see is the journey it took to get there or what's going on in their private lives. It can be like an illusion. And I'm not saying for everyone, because some people are going to be truly happy with what they got. And for the most part, it's going to be well deserved. But there'll be some people who are struggling, and on the outside, it looks like they've got everything, but they don't. So it's not really worth keep looking over at other people. It's literally believing your own path. So, like I say there, I've got people who judge me all the time, people who criticize, people who actually wish for my downfall. I know they do. People are cruel. So you've got all that. I've also got poverty. I've got trauma. There's so much hardship in my life. Loneliness. There's so many things anchoring me. So you've got all these personal things anchoring me. You've got all these lack of supports where you'd think they would be your biggest support. It turns out they're not there for you at all. And meanwhile, there's this drive, this determination, ambition to invest in myself, to never give up and believe in me. And that's what it is. I'm my biggest cheerleader. So I just keep pushing forward anyway, no matter what weight is on my back, whatever is trying to anchor me down, I'm pulling the anchors out. I'm yanking them. I'm dragging them. Some days are harder than others. Some days are incredibly tough and challenging, like really, really tough and challenging. Other days are more effortless. It really it does change your mood back and forward. You know, I've always felt that if I didn't have so much struggle, then I could be so much more productive. It's a bit annoying when you've always got this weight on your shoulders all the time, you know. But at the same time, I've shown myself I can keep accomplishing though. If I've done what I've done with that weight on my shoulders, then I can always do what I'm doing with weight on my shoulders. It's just, it'd be a bit lot nicer to have something nice, and I think I'll be able to do a lot more with less pressure. Um, It isn't me boasting in any way. I'm just trying to show people that it doesn't matter your circumstance. It doesn't define who you are. And literally, you can change your entire reality. So there is an incredible ignorance that when someone is maybe poor and struggling, that they lack intelligence and they don't have a discernible talent or skill. And yet they're so far from reality. People struggle for one reason or another. You know, and it's about getting ourselves out of it, isn't it? Believing in ourselves. I'm more focused on legacy than immediate things. You know, of course, I have desires just like everybody else, but I have more of a long-term view. And if you look at my siblings who are quick to judge me, they haven't done anything with their life of substance. It's been chaotic. They shout, they gossip about each other, they talk behind each other's back. Constantly, this is like this. Their health is rapidly declining. And I often think that it's not always, but I think sometimes it's a reflection of your frequency, your vibration, who you are at your core. I notice in myself, and I'm not saying this to be boastful. Again, I don't care about all this shit. I've noticed as I'm getting older, I'm still quite youthful. I'm 40. Damn, how old am I? 42. It gets confusing. So I'm 42. Now you could say I probably do look 42. I think so. My eyes are getting a bit heavier. I mean, I'm not sleeping very well. I'm all over the place at the moment. But you could argue, yeah, okay, that makes it's quite evident. But I wouldn't say I look totally run down. I wouldn't say I look unhealthy, is what I'm saying. And I think for 42 years old, I look quite attractive, to be totally honest. I'm actually surprised myself. As a teenager, I didn't look particularly attractive. I was very spotty and all sorts of shit, believe me. But I've noticed I'm getting attractive. I'm getting more attractive as I age. And I've felt that with guys in general. They can get more attractive age. Not all of them, but yeah. And yeah, I look at my siblings. They've all got severe health conditions now. Pretty much all of them have got something going on. And again, I think that's a reflection of the frequency they reside at. Cause enough trouble in people's lives and chaotic. And it catches up with you, you know, mind and body. And it's not my business. I don't hope for someone's downfall. I don't wish on any negativity like that. But it's none of my business. It's like I'm just in my own lane. You know, I'm not going to get pulled in for things like that, because that's a good way to get people in to keep you know, coming back and forth. It's like I'm not doing it. I've cut ties with everybody like that. But yeah, it's like, you know, I mean, I'm just on my own path, and that's really what I want to do. I just want to inspire people that you can outgrow your circumstance. Yeah, at your lowest, it's going to feel like the whole world's caving in. But that's a moment. If you go back to April 2017, I was completely lost. Like I was lost. My daughter was supposed to come home from school, and she was taken from school by her mother without warning. Blocked the phone number. I couldn't even reach anywhere. So all of a sudden, she could be absolutely anywhere, like absolutely anywhere. And I don't even know when I'm going to hear from her next or where she's going to pop up. That's incredibly frightening for a parent. That's where I was. And I felt like that for 3 months before we finally established contact through my solicitors, because I had to get a solicitor. And then from there, we re-established contact, and it was absolutely chaotic. But even in the chaos, at least there was a connection. So believe me, I know what it's like to be separated. I know what it's like to go through a hardship. I know what it's like to go through a living hell on so many aspects, whether it's like an eviction, because I had to go through that back in 2014, the end of 2014. I always say 2015 because we had to go by January, after Christmas. So it's around there, but really it was all around that period. And I had to keep fighting through court to keep delaying it. So I think that happened for about 2 years. 2 years of deferring it. Been through that. Supporting an ex-partner through a lot of crises, deep crises. So a lot of my life has actually been selfless acts. So where you think, oh, well, that, you know, you struggles of I've had financial struggles my whole life. The whole relationship, I forgo income to be there for to support. You don't get rewarded for that. You just get criticised because everyone expects you to be this and that. And you can't be multiple people at one time. I always think that nowadays. I'm not an octopus. I can't live multiple lives. I can't be everything. And I don't think most people would. I'm not saying not everybody. Most people wouldn't sacrifice money to support someone with nothing to gain financially. Everybody's money, money, money nowadays. And I was never like that then, and I'm not like that now. But it'd be nice to have something now, though. I think it's about time I had something nice for me. And I desperately want something nice for my daughter. She deserves it. She deserves a real nice life. And I know we won't even get to her head. She's humble like that, you know. But I want her to have nice things, not worry for that side of things. Give her freedom. So I say, I really don't care about the weight that hangs around me and lingers in the shadows. So I stay there for all I care. I'm only interested in moving forward. So those can look on with envy, jealousy, even some strange admiration that they won't even acknowledge. Whatever it is, it's like they'll just see me keep looking forward. Though I'm not interested in going backwards to them. So people cling to you when you're not clinging to them. You know, that's the thing. You free yourself. So I recognise there's a harder path. If people are not going to support me, then I support myself. I'll do what I do in the way I do it. I'll express myself continually. I'll promote myself where I can to the best I can. You know, I don't like self-promotion. I hate it. But I'll still do it by putting the video books there and things like that. And like I was saying, no one can take credit for any success I have because what did they actually do? You know, even if someone's come into my life for a moment, like whether they've befriended me, whether they've helped me on a spiritual journey or anything like that, I acknowledge that, but they never stay. And it's only very short chapters, windows. I always think, you know what, I'm going to help you when I have a breakthrough. And I'm thinking that in my mind, like, mental, no, I'm going to help you. And then they betray me somewhere or something happens and it's like, oh, they just fucked it up. Like, why? I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm just me. I'm just doing my own path. I think, you know what, people will have an opinion on you one way or another. A lot of time it's a reflection of how they treat you anyway. So it's like, it is what it is, isn't it? There'll be people with multiple stories. You'll have people who've got bad stories to tell. There'll be people with good stories to tell. And it's like, I don't really care one way or another, to be totally honest. I know me. I know what I've been through. I know what my goal is. I know my intentions. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks of that, does it? But anyway, this wasn't really for me to just go mental criticizing everybody left, right, and center. But it's a validation that your biggest achievements are going to be more akin to your pride than anybody else's. So anything you do in life, fundamentally do for you first, because you can't guarantee you're going to get praised for it. And effectively, you may have to create on the back of an awful lot of resistance. So do you want it enough? For me, life is more about legacy at this point than it is about the things we have. It's what we leave behind. Now, some people won't care about that and they live in the moment. That's fine. But they don't feel jealous when you get to the end of life and you don't have much to show for it because that was your choice. You can't feel jealous towards someone who has committed their life to helping others when you just chose to just be about yourself. So just shows people's character, I think.